How did the shocking event begin? Collision audience shocked. Jamie Dornan holding Dakota's hand appearing before the media, challenging all judgments. Los Angeles, the night of the International Film Festival. The red carpet was long, the flashbulbs were flashing, and celebrities were everywhere. No one expected that night to become one of the most shocking moments in Hollywood that year. The rumors that Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson had something going on for months were just speculation. No one believed that the two stars who had stirred up the world in a series of blockbuster movies would actually appear together after so many years of avoidance, silence, and especially after the controversies surrounding Jamie's personal life. But then everyone held their breath when a black SUV stopped in front of the red carpet. The door opened, and Jamie Dornan himself stepped out first. He was wearing a black suit, his face serious but calm. The paparazzi began to whisper, "Going alone? No way." But no, he was not going alone. Jamie turned back to the car, reached inside. And Dakota Johnson stepped out, quietly, elegantly, but proudly. That moment, Jamie holding Dakota's hand in front of hundreds of cameras, made the world stop breathing for a few seconds. Were they public, or was it a secret statement? Dakota appeared in a soft red satin dress, her hair down, her face lightly but sharply made up. She stepped out of the car, looked at Jamie, smiled slightly, and placed her hand in his very naturally. Not a handshake. Not a show. But a determined action. Jamie leaned slightly toward her, whispered something that no one could hear. But the cameras caught a short sentence from his lips. "Don't worry, I'm here." Dakota nodded. And they stepped into the sea of light. Reporters screamed, "Jamie, Dakota, are you two dating? Did your relationship start when Jamie was having marital problems? What do you want to say about the criticism? Dakota, do you think you're the cause of the recent drama?" A storm of questions poured down. But Jamie didn't answer. He squeezed Dakota's hand tighter. And that was the answer. The internet exploded, public opinion was divided. Within 10 minutes, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram exploded with clips. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson holding hands? OMG, it's happening for real. This is the biggest Hollywood twist of the year. Jamie is done with being silent. This is a statement. But there was also a wave of criticism. Too soon. He's not even over his divorce yet. Dakota is the center of drama again. Disrespecting the old family. The heated arguments lasted for hours. Inside the event, when all eyes were on them. When the two entered the check-in area, the media staff almost froze. This was a moment that no one thought would happen. Jamie still held Dakota's hand, leading her through the crowd. He was slow, not avoiding the camera. Dakota walked like a queen, her eyes bright but a little nervous. A reporter asked loudly, "Jamie, aren't you worried about being criticized?" Jamie stopped. For the first time, he turned to look at the camera. His face was calm to the point of fear. "I know what I'm doing." Just one sentence. And the whole room gasped. Dakota looked at Jamie with a mixture of surprise and emotion. Backstage gossip. Backstage, directors and actors were whispering. Did he really do it? They held hands clearly as a declaration. This is a bigger shock than the drama of the year. An event staffer whispered, "I just saw Jamie put a coat on Dakota to keep her warm, they look closer than usual." Clearly, this was not a PR stunt. Not a trick. Not a coincidence. Jamie came to be with Dakota, and didn't care about the consequences. Dakota's perspective, strong but worried. Dakota stepped into the VIP lounge, catching her breath. Her face remained calm, but her eyes were tired. Am I okay? She asked Jamie, her voice low and trembling. Yeah, he replied, taking her hands. I know today will be difficult, but I want to walk beside you. Dakota looked deep into his eyes filled with questions, hesitation, and hope. Jamie, are you sure? I don't want to be the target of attack. All the arrows they shoot at me, let me take the bullets. The words made Dakota speechless. Memories between them, something outsiders don't see. Actually, this wasn't the first time they met again. It wasn't the first time they talked. And it wasn't the first time they touched each other. After many years of going their separate ways, the two accidentally met again at a private party of the film industry. Dakota only intended to say hello at that time. But Jamie looked at her with a different look. I've wanted to see you again for a long time, Jamie said that day. Dakota paused slightly. I'm not sure that's good for you. If it's not good, I want to try. For weeks after that, they texted, met a few times in empty cafes, shared private stories that were never made public. Jamie was in crisis after the drama in his personal life. Dakota was under pressure from the media after a project that was criticized. They found a strange peace in each other. It wasn't love at first sight. It was understanding, the thing that makes people hold hands when the world is chaotic. When Jamie brought Dakota out in public, it was a choice. Dakota asked him before the event, Jamie, if you want to keep it private tonight, I completely understand. We don't have to go together. Jamie shook his head. No, if I go, I'll go next to you. If they want to judge, let them see clearly. Dakota chuckled. I knew this would cause a storm. I know, but I'm tired. I don't want to live half in public anymore. And the people who won't like it. Jamie touched her cheek lightly. I don't live for those people. The press began to ask questions, louder. In the live interview area, the storm began in earnest. Jamie, do you have a message for Dakota's critics? Dakota, are you worried about being seen as a third wheel? Are you two dating? Is this an official relationship? Dakota paused, but Jamie didn't. He pulled her closer, put his arm around Dakota's waist, and looked straight into the camera. I'm not explaining to anyone. But I will say this, Dakota did nothing wrong. The flash went off. The room exploded. Dakota turned to him, eyes wide, both surprised and touched. Turning point, Jamie spoke in front of hundreds of reporters. A photographer asked loudly, Jamie, are you trying to prove something? Jamie narrowed his eyes. A few seconds later he replied, cold but meaningful. Yes, I want to prove that I have the right to walk with someone I trust. Dakota squeezed his hand gently. She had probably never seen Jamie so strong under pressure. Another person shouted, So that person is Dakota? Jamie turned to look at Dakota. And in front of hundreds of people, he said, I think you already know the answer. Backstage, Dakota breathes a sigh of relief. Jamie stands behind her like a shield. When they entered the resting area, Dakota exhaled heavily, almost shaking. Oh my God, I thought my heart stopped a few times. Jamie wrapped his arms around her from behind. You did great. Dakota leaned against his chest. Jamie, if this gets you in trouble. I've had enough trouble, and I'm not going to let anyone tell me who to stand next to. She looked up at him. You really want to stand next to me? Jamie put her hand on her cheek. I choose to stand next to you. The world talked, but they stayed together. That night, back home, Dakota turned on her phone. Millions of comments. Some positive, some negative, some cruel. She was worried, but then in a quiet moment, a text message from Jamie came. We did well today. Sleep well. I'm proud of us. Dakota smiled, placing her hand on her chest, where her heart was beating fast. Maybe this wasn't just a scandal anymore. It wasn't just a public appearance. It wasn't just a public rebellion. This is the beginning of something real, strong, and not easily shaken. Jamie video calls Dakota, light but profound conversation. Are you okay? Jamie asks when the screen pops up. I'm a little tired, everyone's talking too much. Let me tell you something. Jamie pauses. I didn't do it to cause a scandal. I did it because I didn't want you to walk alone anymore. Dakota is silent for a few seconds. Jamie, I don't want to be the thing that makes you misunderstood. Jamie shakes his head. You're the thing that makes me feel at peace. Dakota's heart sinks into a soft void. She says softly, so, will you continue to hold my hand? Of course. In front of everyone. In front of the world. Dakota looks down to hide her smile. You just shocked Hollywood. Jamie shrugs. I just want to hold your hand. The end, or just the beginning? The next day, every major news site published pictures of Jamie and Dakota holding hands. A new era of the iconic duo? Jamie and Dakota. Is this real? The hand-holding that shook Hollywood. Millions of fans analyzed every move, every glance. The drama grew. The media pressure grew. But Jamie remained calm. Dakota remained composed. And they still communicated every day, longer texts, deeper phone calls, evenings talking about fears, the past, and the future. Their story, whether it was a win or a loss, right or wrong, had entered a completely new chapter. A chapter that began with a handshake, in the face of countless criticisms. But maybe, it was the chapter they needed to find each other, after years of wandering in a life full of pressure and noise.